live video. I'm very excited for this one. And today, as you have seen actually from the thumbnail to the title of the video, I'm going to be just going through a couple of things that I find to be quite different, especially for the last 2 months I've spent here in Nairobi, Kenya. Also, when you come into the live stream, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, let me know what you think of the live in the comment section below. Yeah, so let me first of all track and see where this live stream is, so that I can be able to discuss whatever I want to discuss very well. Okay, so finally that is done. I think I'm in frame. Initially I thought that I was not in frame, but I think I'm in frame. The weather today is Nairobi. It is very, very gloomy. That's why even you can see the lighting. It is not the best. The lighting I'm having right now, it's not the best. Mind you, it's around 20 minutes past 5, but it looks like it's already about 6, almost 7 in the night. So for the lighting, you'll definitely bear with me, guys. But 2 months, I did click 2 months in Nairobi, Kenya. And I tell you guys, this has been a journey. Yeah, I would call it a journey. It has been having its own highs, its own lows. Like, it has been really, really a lot. But I'm just so grateful and happy that I've reached this moment in time. The journey has had its own highs, its own lows, a lot of lessons to learn, a lot of things to reconsider, and I'm forever, forever, forever grateful. So the main intention of this video is to inspire out someone there, either learn a lesson or two from the topics I'm going to be discussing or things that I've learned, and maybe improve your life in one way or another. Yeah, so I'm that kind of a guy who most of the time writes down things. So I've written down a couple of things, some of the lessons I've learned when it comes to Nairobi. The first thing I want to mention is that 10 bob, 5 bob really makes a lot of difference. Initially, when you just travel to Nairobi, and for people who are not Kenyans, I think can witness, the first time you come here or the second time you come here, you can easily spend money. Like, you look at 10 bob as not something very big, 5 bob as not something very big, but I kid you not, that 5 bob, that 10 bob, it literally makes a huge difference. In case you don't have that money, there are things that you cannot carry. Like back in Kampala, in case I don't have a particular amount of money on the total fee, chances are very high that they will try to, massage me around and might let me go. Here, it is completely different. I just feel like I've learned to respect money more and more, especially when it comes to those small change. Also, I realized that in Nairobi, especially around the CBD, that is Ambassador, Rongai stage, and a couple of other stages, taxi and matatu stages, you realize that in the evenings, I used to ask myself and also ask Gabriel actually, like, why are these people sitting here? Or, and he actually explained to me that, most of the time during peak hours, matatus tend to be not very expensive, but quite expensive compared to when someone waits and the peak hours go down a little bit. And most of the time they are saving like 10, 20 bob. So by now, I really learned the hard way that even though it is 10 bob or 5 bob, it really makes a difference. And Nairobians are all about ways of saving money and trying to keep up with the cost of living, which actually when you live here, you realize it is quite high. When you're just a visitor, you can think that it is not. But when you live here, things are quite costly, and I've come to also really understand that. The next thing I want to talk about, it is that the second thing I feel like I've learned, it is that there are good people in Kenya, but there are also bad people. And like any other country, any other region, any other place, Kenya has its own good people, supportive, kind, receptive, hospitable people, but also it has people who are negative. And I've learned it the hard way to always keep that at the back of my mind, that it's not going to be all bed of roses, but there are going to be times where I have to interact with people who are quite negative. Initially, it was just like, I just thought that everyone is good and all that, but no, it isn't like that. Not everyone is good, and as we shall be talking on earlier on, some of the defense mechanisms I've picked up from a couple of Nairobians, you know, not everyone is good, and you have to really learn, you have to really set your limits on how you interact with people you interact with, and try to be as self-aware as possible. That was the second lesson. Initially traveling here, the first time, the second time, as I told you yesterday, people were on my live 2 days ago, I just told you that my greatest prayer is that I don't find any negative Kenyans. Like, usually do that to make sure that that is concealed in. That is my greatest prayer. I don't want to find anyone who's going to change the perspective I have towards Kenya. But regardless of that, regardless of that, they are going to be good people and they're going to be bad people. And whatever happens, that has to be at the back of my mind. The third thing I really want to talk about, that I also think that has been a very huge lesson for me, it is adaptation. When you see Kenyans moving in a very big group in one particular direction, that is the direction you should move to. When you see people moving, lesser people moving in a particular direction, don't move there. In simplicity, I'm trying to say that I feel like I've actually finally learned to adapt to how Kenyans, not 100%, but basically how most of the time they do their things. Most of the time they do their things in groups. They don't do their things in individualism and things of a sort. Most of the time they tend to make sure that they do their things in joint community, and it is also, I think, a good defensive mechanism, because recently there's a lot of ups and downs when it comes to the CBD, but you realize that when people came out on the internet and they were giving their own honest opinions, talking about this, talking about that, it also changed the shift on what is the next thing to do right now. People are saying that don't go to that street, don't bother to go to that street. People are saying that go to that street or pass via that street, then you can pass via that particular street. So in simplicity, that is it. I feel like I'm actually, or I have tried to adapt more and more moving forward. Then the fourth thing I feel like I can actually be able to articulate when it comes to this life, it is Nairobi. I think this one I'm actually still learning, but you guys have a lot of projects running. Like, I don't even know how to describe this, but Nairobi is just one big construction kind of site. And earlier on today, I was speaking to Gabriel about this, but it is the absolute honest truth. Almost everywhere there is construction, almost everywhere there are projects moving. This is the viaduct kind of project on this road, then this is paving, then this is apartments, then this is this and this and this. So there are quite a number of projects, and these projects I also realized that they are moving almost at the same time. So this one, there is a project going on this side, there is a project going on that side, there is a project going on the other side, but all of them are moving almost at the same time. There isn't like this thing back in Kampala, Uganda, that when one project is moving, another project is not moving. So I've really tried to learn it the hard way, that things can still work together, but towards a particular goal. And that is also, I think, good in a way that I can actually apply that to my life, because back in Kampala, Uganda, we are used to this particular slowness of life, that in case you're accomplishing one task, you have to wait so that you can accomplish another one. But I just feel like Nairobi puts you in that particular position where you can appreciate, for example, many projects moving at the same time, and how you can be able to apply it actually in your day-to-day life. Elsie, can you help me close that door, please? So the next one that I think that I've also learned with time, it has to be the diverse tribes. I'm having visitors, guys. Please, guys, I'm on live television. I'm on live, please don't make a lot of noise. So you help me close the door. Okay, so I think we can continue, guys. The other thing that I feel like I've learned, it has to be how diverse when it comes to tribes and culture it is here in Nairobi, Kenya. You guys have quite a number of tribes, and also that means that there are different cultures and customs that I can't actually adapt at the same time, and I've learned to live with that the right way. Initially, I thought that it's you know, as for any other country, you know, most of the time there are basic cultures and customs and behavior that you opt to know that I'm supposed to behave this way or I'm supposed to behave that way. But when you come to Kenya, you just come to know that there are Luya, there are Kalenjins, there are Kikuyus, there are Merus, there are like Masai, and all of these carry a particular culture, custom, behavior, and you cannot adapt to all that. Initially, it tried to stress me out a little bit because I was just trying to keep up, but I've learned to just breathe, take it slowly. For example, just take it slowly. I'm not going to learn Swahili at the same time learn Masai, at the same time learn Kikuyu, learn Kalenjin and Luya language and Luo. No, that is not going to be possible. I've learned to just be still and be in the moment. For example, if I'm visiting you and you are, for example, you are Luo, I'll learn the Luo culture from you and I'll take that for that moment. But I'll not try to collect up everything because it's quite overwhelming. Yeah. Someone said, Alex said, Karibu Kenya. When you say Karibu, what should I say? Karibu, asante sana. Asante sana, Alex. Yeah, I think that is right. Let me know. Asante sana, Alex. When someone say Karibu, asante sana. Yes. Asante sana. I'm enjoying Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm just so glad that you are in the live stream, coming along my journey, sharing a couple of things I've learned on this particular, journey. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, it is the community spirit or unity. You guys have a lot of unity. My good Lord. Now, this is one thing that I really also love about Nairobians, if you were to ask me. These people are very, very united. When they decide that they are going to, for example, burn out this particular house, they will burn it down. When they decide that today we are going to go through this route, they'll go through that route. And such things we don't usually see in Kampala. In Kampala, Uganda, most of the tribes there, most of the time they tend to be, most of the time every tribe tends to isolate itself, and there isn't that particular unity of citizenship and country kind of unity. We don't have that. We don't have that. Now here in Nairobi, Kenya, you guys just know that I've been binge doing history research about your country. I've gone through almost every, not almost, saying almost, it means a lot, but I've gone through most of your history when it comes to politics, when it comes to the 80s, from the 70s, from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and right now over the 2020s. I've gone through all that history, political-wise, social-wise, economically-wise, and all those other aspects. And at least I have a glimpse of what Nairobi is, what Kenya is. And one thing that stands out for all over that history, it is how much unity and the spirit of togetherness you guys have. So I just feel like I've learned it the hard way, that in case you are with someone or in case you are actually in a particular group of people, learn to be in togetherness with them. You might not agree with them, but at least stand on particular ground where you can be able to, show a little bit of unity, or not the whole of unity, but at the back of your mind, at least know that these are your people, and whatever you are standing for, it is literally helping you and your future generations to come. I've seen YouTube videos, I've read blogs about Kenyan history, this and that and this and that and that, and I can literally articulate. I can't even speak. I can literally articulate when it comes to your history, yeah, and your day-to-day kind of life, and why you are quite, very, very united when it comes to a couple of different things. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, guys, it is the weather. Now, I've also learned the hard way. This one I talked about it, I think, in a couple of my older videos. But weather in Nairobi, it is, I think I can describe it as cool and hot. Not wet and hot, but cool and hot. Yeah, cool and hot somehow, especially the month we are in right now. Personally, where I come from, it is always wet and hot. So it is raining and it is shining. In Nairobi, Kenya, now the months that I've been here, probably from May when I visited, went back to Kampala a little bit, then came back. It hasn't been raining as often, but it has been hot. But the evenings, like for example, today evening, it is really, really very, very cool. It is really very cool, and you can hear you cannot hear, but you can breathe in that cold breath, which is amazing. You know, a cold breath is always amazing, especially after a very hot kind of weather. So I really, really love that about Nairobi. And I've also learned the hard way that whenever I'm going to Tau, I should always carry my jumper or jacket. It is just of recent, one of these days, that I've not been carrying it because of how hot it has been in Nairobi. If you're in Nairobi, you guys know it has been shining like the last few days. My good lord, my good lord. I was in a CBD yesterday, meeting up with a couple of you guys, friends I had met online, and we are having a couple of, you know, conversations and food and touring around and creating content. And my brain, remember, I don't have hair. My brain was boiling. That sun was scorching. Yesterday, the sun that was in Nairobi, that sun was scorching. That's the only time I was like, my good Lord, now this is pure, pure sun, pure, pure sun. But regardless, the point is, I've learned it the hard way to always carry my jacket to Tau whenever I'm going to Tau, because Tau is where I usually create my content from. And also, I've learned it the hard way to expect anything at any time. It can out of the blue start raining, it can out of the blue just sun, just shine. So I've learned the hard way that all those different things are actually possible. Yeah. The other thing that I feel like I've learned, guys, when it comes to Nairobi and living here for almost 2 months, it is the crime rate. You guys have a little bit of more crime rate compared to Kampala, Uganda, and that has also changed my perspective according to my perspective on like a couple of different things. You guys have a lot of freedom here in a good way. I don't come from you for this, but you guys have a lot of freedom here. First of all, your constitution doesn't allow you the military to actually intervene when it comes to a lot of different things. I understand that you have police and you have different units within police and all that, but also I just think that there is a conducive exercise of politics, and not only politics but also social, economic, and other aspects of life that actually empowers you to have very, very much freedom. And very much freedom most of the time leads to a little bit or a slight increase of crime rate. Now, I was looking at the story of the kids who burnt down a school, and I was talking to a couple of you guys, like friends I met online. And the thing is, such a thing would have never happened in Kampala, Uganda, because I have instances. I remember vividly when military was employed in a secondary school and kids beaten with batons, and these are military beating kids 17, 15 years up to maybe 20. Such a thing would have never happened in Kampala, Uganda. But because of the freedom you have here, you know, the crime rate, not only in that is just an example, but also in other aspects. There is a lot of petty thief here. There is a lot of money laundering here. It is actually a lot. There is a theft with kissus, knives, and you know, as Nairobi being Nairobi with all its glamour, there are things that you do expect, but I just feel like it's a lot here, and I've really learned it the hard way to make sure that I'm always on guard. Whenever I'm out or I'm accomplishing things, I'm running errands, that has to be at the back of my mind. That the crime rate might be a little bit high and I might be a target for someone. So I'm always on a watch, in front, backward, trying to make sure that I scan my environment to make sure that everything is fine. But I've learned it the hard way that also, right now I'm still quite new in Nairobi, 2 months I haven't seen anything. I make it the point that I arrive at home where I stay right now, latest it has to be around 7:30. But in case I've exceeded 7:30, then that means that I'm actually around the place, or I'm at it might be a restaurant around or something like that. By doing all that, I'm trying to limit down the chances of myself being involved in such scandals of theft and you know, all that it can entail. But in simplicity, that is it. I've learned it the hard way that Nairobi has crime. There isn't much that personally I can do as a foreigner visiting, but I have to just make sure that I do I keep myself safe before actually anything. Through keeping myself safe, it is to always make sure that I come back home quite early, leave home not very early in the morning, not interact with people I don't know, such things. And I hope that they are also helping me like such behavior, they're really helping me a lot and a lot. Yeah, the next thing I want to talk about that I feel like I've learned on this journey of being in Nairobi for over 2 years, guys, it is never display valuables. I've learned that also the hard way. You guys know that I have my iPhone 13 Pro. It is the one I'm using to film almost every other vlog you have seen on my channel. When it comes to Nairobi, a lot of you guys don't know, but I don't have a GoPro. I have a GoPro, it's an old one, it's a Hero 3. I have a friend in the States, he's called Johnny. He married a Ugandan. When he flew in Uganda, that was 2023 actually. I first met him in 2022, then he came, he saw that I was vlogging on my phone, he said that he will get me a camera. He'd actually forgotten about it. By then I was busy with nursing and working in hospital and all that. When he came in, he got for me that camera. It is a Hero 3. It's a GoPro, but I don't use it at all because of how the quality has changed. The screen got cracked a little bit. So right now I basically vlog with my iPhone 13 Pro. But I've learned it the hard way that the iPhone 13 Pro here in Nairobi looks a little bit flashy. And anything that looks a little bit flashy or valuable, it is like you are touching yourself for criminals to come actually steal from you. So I've learned that also the hard way. Whenever I'm in a matatu or I'm on a street alone or I'm in a place that I'm not pretty sure, I'll not touch my phone. I'll leave it in my jacket. And also I think I'll have to buy these small phones. Guys, let me know in the comment section below. What are those small phones called in Swahili? I usually forget. But I have to get some of those small phones so that I can put in my Safaricom line, so that in case I'm traveling in a matatu or anything like that, I don't have to get out my iPhone 13 Pro to flash around so that people can, I've learned that whenever you showcase anything valuable, you are actually a target. Someone might think that you have a lot of money and they might want to take that from you. So I've learned that the hard way. When I'm in public or in a place I'm not sure of, I'll keep my iPhone 13 Pro very far. You will not even know that I have it. I also have this other phone. This is a Samsung S16. I usually use it to edit. Yeah, both phones I use them to edit, but basically this one I usually use it to edit, especially if I'm recording on the big camera, the Nikon D5200. I don't have a laptop, so I transfer everything to it. This other small phone, edit from it. But also it is the same thing. When I'm in a public transportation system, when I'm moving around, walking around, I don't get out my phones because I've understood that whenever you flash valuables like this, you are calling yourself to be targeted, to be stolen from, so I don't even bother. Yeah, the good thing, I don't have a watch. I used to have an Apple Watch, but before I came to Nairobi, because of research, I said I'll not actually, make sure that I wear it all the time. I don't wear chains, I don't wear rings, so at least I'm safe on that. But overall, I think I've learned it the hard way, and people who are traveling to Nairobi and people who stay in Nairobi, try your best so that you don't flash around valuables, because I've seen what it can. My phone almost was snatched in Upper Hill. If you guys saw the video you saw, I was actually vlogging like this, vlogging with that phone like this. Then the guy tried to come snatch the phone because of how flashy it does look. And it was just by God's grace that it wasn't snatched. But that phone, the iPhone 13 Pro, it was almost snatched. And also, the same street where I am Mara, the wife got her phone snatched from. It is the same street actually. And he went to Churchill police station in Upper Hill. That is where also I went to Churchill police station in Upper Hill to open up a case. So I opened up the case and that is in history right now, but I'm just trying to bring attention to you guys that flashing around very expensive things, you are calling yourself thieves. Yeah, I see that we have 9 people in the building. Please don't forget to like the live stream. The like button is somewhere there. Today I came quite late for the live stream because of the weather where I am in Nairobi. It is very gloomy. I don't even know why I don't have a jacket on. It is very gloomy. Let me know if you guys who are in Nairobi, if it is the same thing. But this side it is really very gloomy. It looks like it wants to rain. That's why even the lighting is not the best. Yeah. Capitol Hill. Hey, yeah, Capitol Hill. Gabriel just said Capitol Hill. That police station, that's where I went with Gabriel and opened up a case for that. The other thing I really want to talk about that I think that I've learned, it is, initially I talked about this, but when you are in CBD, make sure that where you see very few people, don't walk through that route. Where you see like very many people walking, that's where you should walk through. And this is also a point that I would relate to adaptability. You have to learn to adapt. So I've learned to adapt. Where you see that people are moving very many, that is the street you should move on. Where you see that there are few people, you are seeing 2-3 people moving on that street, you shouldn't move there. It means there is a red flag. Remember that as a foreigner, I don't have a lot of information. I'm basically using my intuition. I'm also using my presence in different places to gauge. So I've also learned that where you see Kenyans, like there are very many moving on a street, that is where I should move. Whether I know where they are going, whether I don't know where they are going, but chances are high that that is safe. In case I see 2-3 Kenyans moving on a particular street, I shouldn't move on that street, because chances are very high that the reason why the many haven't moved on that street, then it might have some red flags. So I've learned it the hard way, and I think nothing has taught me this like the recent CBD controversy of wounds using feces and using knives and all that. You guys, the way how I love Nairobi and the way how I've actually sat down to make sure that I memorize everything and do my research and make friends and all that, there is nothing that made my brain boil like that period of time. All those TikTok videos were like nailing in my heart. Whenever someone would make a TikTok video about CBD becoming very notorious, we shouldn't go to CBD, it was like they were hurting my heart. So I really know, and within that period of time, I came to the agreement to actually know that the next thing that I really want to talk about, or the next lesson that I feel like I have learned over time, it has to be M-Pesa. And how simply it is. I've talked about M-Pesa on a lot of different occasions, but for this one in particular, I've learned that you can always do transactions from Kampala, Uganda to M-Pesa. Initially, we just knew of Western Union. The first time I came here, you guys, the first time I came here in Nairobi, it was quite hard because we were using Visa cards and some of the Visa cards were declining, and the charges on the Visa card, when you use Kenya Commercial Bank, they charge you about 500 Kenyan shillings, about $5, especially if it is not a card, like a Kenyan card. It's within the East African community. So that is about 500. Whenever you put in your card, 500 is deducted. Before even they deduct the amount of money they are going to charge you while withdrawing the money. So the first time it was really hard. Now, the second time why I'm saying that I've really learned a lot when it comes to M-Pesa, it is right now I know that I can do transactions back in Kampala, Uganda, and they reflect on my M-Pesa number. Also, it took me time to actually start using M-Pesa because of reason A, B, and C. But when I started using it and I realized that I was wasting a lot of money using those Visa cards and credit cards. Also, I realized that you guys, a lot of you here, your banks don't give you credit cards. I don't know why. Someone should explain this to me. But in Kampala, Uganda, we are given, like, for example, if you have been a government worker, you have been working in the government section, working for the government of Uganda, either in Ministry of Health or whatever the case may be, you can get a credit card and a debit card. A credit card, you can basically get credit, but it has a limit. Yeah? A debit card, it is the one that you have for your bank that the Ministry of Health uses to pay you. So I realize that not a lot of you guys talk about both, but in Uganda it is quite common, especially for civil servants. But the point was that I've learned the hard way that I can literally do transactions from Kampala direct to my M-Pesa and they reflect. And it is the easiest and simplest, and they'll give you at a very good rate compared to all these rates that Somalis and Eritreans are giving in Nairobi. Because I realized that many Eritreans and Somalis, the rates they have, they're actually thief rates. 1 Ugandan shilling they want to give you at 35. They want to give you at 42. For what? When at the border, when you're exchanging this money, it's at 29, 28. Eh? So you end up losing a lot of money intermediately. So I've learned it the hard way also to either, in case I want to do transactions, at least get a way how I can contact my mother bank back in Kampala, Uganda, look at different ways, especially if I'm expecting a little bit of money to keep me going here in Nairobi, Kenya, look at a way how they can wire that money through Safaricom Kenya to my M-Pesa line. it has been a game changer. On top of that, one thing I also love about M-Pesa, it is how cashless it is. And yesterday, while I was doing a video with Wekesa, it will be coming out on Wekesa's channel. Wekesa is also a content creator that I met here in Nairobi, Kenya. One thing that I really emphasized on is how the financial system here in Nairobi, Kenya, it's quite different but quite efficient. I'm not saying that it is the safest. It is not the safest because I've seen Jagero's channel and a couple of other financial channels talking about money laundering and M-Pesa theft and all this. It is not the safest, but at least compared to people walking around with very bulky hard cash, I think that is a better option. So at least for the best, M-Pesa has taught me that. Yeah. And also when you realize right now, I no longer move with that bulky cash. No, I don't have to. In case someone steals, for example, the phone, God forbid, also I realize that M-Pesa has two. Safaricom lines have two like password kind of line. When you go through the first one, you can't go through the second one. They'll ask for your PIN to open the phone, and also they'll ask for your PIN to be able to access your mobile money or anything like that. Yeah, the other thing I really want to talk about, guys, by the way, if you come into the live stream, please don't forget to like the live stream. Today I came in quite late. The weather is not the best. It is quite gloomy. But when you come into the live stream and you're really enjoying, don't forget to like the live stream. The button is quite down here or here for liking. No, I'm saying here, but it's here, I think. It is somewhere for liking the video. Yeah. The other thing that I've learned about my stay in Nairobi, especially for the last 2 months, I've been doing research about Ugandans living in Nairobi, Kenya. And I've realized that among the 25,000 Ugandans who travel to Nairobi, Kenya, okay, not the biggest number, but at least quarter of that, it is Ugandans traveling here to work as maids. Initially, it is not something I knew of. I've learned this through research and talking to different Ugandans and different blogs about Ugandans living in Nairobi, Kenya, and all that. And I've actually also met, there is a period when I was at Muthaiga North and I wanted to just go to, I actually went to AAR Hospital, that is along Kiambu Road. I wanted to ask about their insurance company, how can someone register for a policy and all that. And one of the security guards out of the blue told me, oh, the way how you speak, it feels like you are Ugandan. Then I was like, yeah, I'm Ugandan. Because you have to also present your national ID at the entrance. Then she was like, I have a friend, she wants a Ugandan housemaid and all this. Initially, I was shocked. I think those are some of the first time actually I realized that very many Ugandans travel here to do housemaid jobs. But regardless, I'm like, housemaid, me? Do I know? Okay, you just put myself, just put yourself in my shoes. It was the first time hearing this. So I had to come back home, do a little bit of research, see the immigration and what over the 25,000 Ugandans who visit Kenya, what jobs they do. And I came to know about that. Now, it is very official. I've read about it and I've confirmed there are very many Ugandan girls who actually travel to Nairobi to do housemaid. Now, I'm very glad about that for a reason or two. Back in Kampala, Uganda, the average salary of a housemaid, we are looking at 2,500 Kenyan shillings a month. Yes, a month. This is honesty because I've grown up in Uganda, 2,500. In case someone has helped you so much, that is the average. They can maybe move to 5,000 Kenyan shillings. But this person you are giving 5,000 Kenyan shillings or 2,500 Kenyan shillings, that is back in Kampala, Uganda. They take care of the kids, they cook the meals, they do laundry by hand, not even by a machine, but by hand. They make sure that they clean the house, they take care of the home and all this. So I would say that in Kampala, Uganda, for housemaids, they really get very low salaries. Minors, they don't have insurances and day offs. Now, I realize that most of my sisters here in Nairobi, Kenya, who are Ugandan, you guys most of the time treat them very well. Okay, maybe not very well, but quite well compared to back in Kampala, Uganda. I've heard that some of them, you guys pay them around 10,000 Kenyan shillings, which is about 28,000, 30,000. 300,000 Ugandan shillings. So that is quite an affordable amount of money for a person doing housemaidry work, because I tend to know it's quite a lot, and I'm very happy about that. And I've learned it the hard way that there are a lot of my sisters and actually my brothers from Kampala, Uganda, and generally from Uganda, traveling to Nairobi to come either do domestic work or do shamba boy work. and they are getting at least some good money compared to what they would have been getting back in Kampala, Uganda. Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about that I've also learned, and it has motivated me and changed me for the better, it is the work culture in Nairobi. You guys are hardworking. I want to give you your flowers. Okay, I don't know about you guys who are watching, but the majority of Kenyans are hardworking, and I love that. You guys are so hardworking. Like you wake up very early in the morning, by 5 people already on the road, they are moving to the CBD, they are moving left, right, and center. Someone has like 5 jobs, they are doing content, they have a vegetable stock, they have a butchery, they are teachers, they are farmers. Like, these are some of the things that have really challenged me, and I know when I go back to Kampala, Uganda, in case I'm not to come back here, God forbid, I think I've gotten such a very good experience when it comes to the work culture and the hustle culture here in Nairobi, Kenya. You guys, like, you source out everything possible to support your lifestyle. And I really like that. It is really a plus for you, and you are motivating a lot of people with knowing or without knowing. But for me, I'm watching. Remember, as a foreigner, back in Kampala, Uganda, they say that whenever you have a foreigner around or whenever you have a visitor around, be very careful, because they are literally recording whatever is happening, and those are the experiences they are going to share with people back at home. But I've been very, very vigilant. People in Nairobi are hardworking. For example, where we stay, like 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, cars are already moving out of the garage. In Kampala, Uganda, things are quite different. And I was telling Gabriel some time ago when I came, I just feel like people here wake up very early. I just feel like people here are very hardworking. Reach the CBD, people are moving on a very high speed. It feels like they are going to heaven. Left, right, center, left, right, center, left, right, center. And it's amazing in its own way, because not only are they providing to themselves and their families and things of a sort, but also they are contributing towards their economy. So I think I've learned for the better. And also, you realize with my channel, I've really tried to be as consistent and as hardworking while I'm here, because of also that good, supportive pressure I'm feeling from a lot of you guys. For example, the content creators in Nairobi, most of the time, they upload every other day. Let that sink in you. You guys, your content creators, upload every other day. Like, you're uploading videos every other day. Now, for me, that is a consistency, and that is pressure that is good for me to really understand that these people are hardworking and they are really following a goal, or they are really up to something. I've really learned something for the better. Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about that I also really appreciate so much about this particular place. I have my book, by the way. In case you see me looking this side or the other side, just know that I'm reading through my book. The other thing, it would be electricity and maybe water. Oh, so this is also quite different, but in a good way. I'm not saying that in Kampala, Uganda, we don't have blackouts, but I've learned the hard way to relax when electricity out of the blue goes. Initially, I was that kind of person who, even while I was in Uganda, like, I can't take it when one of the amenities, that are supposed to be around are not around. But I think in Kampala, they have really tried to improve a lot, regardless of the fact that the old organization exited and we have a new one that has been trying to implement electricity policies and circulate electricity throughout the whole country. But it is so rare for electricity to go, especially through Entebbe, Kampala, that route, Entebbe, Kampala, like those particular homes, you guys call them estates, but those particular villages along that route where my home is, it is so rare. But in Nairobi, Kenya, I've literally learned that, because they are like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, maybe like 5 power outages have happened while I'm here. The first ones were a little bit scary, but I think with time, as I told you, with time, adaptability also comes in. I just feel like I've started adapting little by little, and it is no longer a very big shock as it used to be, especially for the first time when I did travel here. So I have learned also the good way to relax, pause, relax and pause, because you never know, this electricity might have moved off because the person who's supposed to put on the token is not around, or because the Kenya Power is implanting a tree somewhere, or because of something. So I've really learned that the hard way. The same thing applies to water. Now, for example, where we live right now, there was a few 3-4 weeks ago, Kenya Water, by now I don't know it very well, the abbreviation, but Kenya Water was trying to implement drinking filtered water through the whole estate, and that led to a lot of water outages, time over time. But I've also learned it the hard way. I know that either the water has not been yet pumped, so we have to wait for it to be pumped, or something is happening. And I'm so grateful for that, because there are few things that I'm picking that maybe I can also implement when I go back from where I come from. Yeah. The next thing I really want to talk about that was also a shocker, but it has tried to modify the way how I'm living my life in Kenya right now for almost 2 months now. It is traffic. It is traffic what? Traffic is king. And do whatever you can, especially if you're on a tight schedule, to see that you don't move in high peak hours. Oh my good Lord. I've learned that the hard way. Quite very early in the morning, those tend to be quite peak hours. Then also evening time like this, they tend to be quite peak hours. So the traffic is really intense. So what have I decided to do? Except if the person I'm meeting or whatever I'm going for really requires me to go quite very early in the morning, I wouldn't want to sit for 2-3 hours in the traffic jam. I would rather not do that. The best thing I would do, either move out immediately after the peak hours in the morning, maybe around 10 a.m. in the morning. Also, I've realized that the cost of the matatu or whatever transport you are going to be using, the prices tend to be lower. Now, for example, I was traveling from Odeon Cinema, that is in CBD, to Kiambu town. It was in the morning because the person I was meeting, who was hosting me while I was in Kiambu, he had to go to work and all that. So I had to wake up quite early in the morning and reach CBD, then CBD take a matatu to Kiambu. Let me kid you not, that matatu was 30 bob. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, it was actually 30 bob, 30 bob. But also a few days later, I come back to CBD with him because I had to run a couple of errands within the city center. And going back in the evening, that matatu had skyrocketed, the same matatu at 80 bob. It had skyrocketed at 80 bob. 80 bob. So I was like, now where is the math? The math is not mathing in simplicity. The math is not mathing. Why was it early in the morning 30, and right now, not early in the morning, but around less peak hours, around 30, and right now it's about 80. So doing my research, I now know that peak hours tend to be expensive and the traffic is high. Not so much peak hours, they tend to be low, and the traffic also tend to be quite low. So I've learned it the hard way. When I'm traveling anywhere, especially if I'm not in a hurry, I make it a point that I utilize that time that is off peak hours. Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, it is vigilance. I just think that I talked about vigilance, especially when it came to the state of CBD the last 3 weeks. But I want to throw more light on it because I just feel like it is important for me to do so, especially for people traveling here for the first time or the second time, or people living here. Try your best to see that you are very vigilant. Try to scan your environment. When you are around people you don't know, don't use your phone. This thing of moving around like this and you are typing, you don't even see where you are going, you are typing, things like that, they are very detrimental. The second thing, even in the matatu itself, if you feel like something is off, especially in the matatu, don't use your phone. Don't even bother. Then also try to scan your environment. And scanning, I'm not saying looking like this. Try to be curious and conscious. Who is that coming towards me? How are they wearing? What is their state of condition? All those different things tend to be triggers to the human mind that can help you escape a tragedy. I've learned that the hard way. And when I roll back that clip in my mind of what happened in Upper Hill, that was in September, around 3rd, 4th, I vividly see that I was quite captivated by my phone and vlogging, and I didn't pay attention as much when this guy tried to do whatever he tried to do. So let's stay vigilant and let's try our best to stay vigilant, especially my women and girl and any female friend watching me on this channel. Try to be as vigilant as you can. These men, they are amazing. We are amazing human beings, but research has shown that more men have mental issues that lead them to tragedy than women. So try to be as much careful as you can. I've seen girls in matatus completely, off, like on their phones, and I'm like, my good lord, try to scan your environment. These people can do anything to you anytime. And this is not only for the girls, but also as the boys. Yeah. But I've learned that the hard way, and I just feel like I want to emphasize this out there to you guys. The next thing I want to talk about when it comes to things I've learned living in Nairobi, Kenya, it is modernity and poverty. Now, like any other country, Kampala, Uganda, Nairobi, Kenya, Tanzania, look at the United States. I was seeing a video of Miss Trudy. I actually watched that video maybe like 2-3 days ago about when Miss Trudy was in the States. That was Washington, D.C. And she was showing how much homelessness is on those streets. If you are a very perpetual watcher of YouTube, you have to have watched that video. I watched that video 2 years ago and she premiered it. I rewatched it 2-3 days ago, because I was doing some research about a different topic I wanted to bring you guys in Nairobi. But the point is, I've learned that you see all this horizontal and vertical developed infrastructure in Kilimani, in Kileleshwa, in Lavington, in Runda, in Muthaiga, in all these particular neighborhoods. They look good, they look flashy, they are amazing, they are nice residential developments that are worth billions of Kenyan shillings. But just know there is also on the side poverty crawling in. There are smaller slums or smaller kind of growing population of people who are less privileged, who are beneficiaries of this particular larger estate. I've actually realized that and learned that the hard way, that regardless of what Nairobi is painted like it's a beautiful city, and it is a beautiful city, but it has class. Yeah, the class is there between the rich and the poor, and the margin is very, very well indicated. It's not even like in Uganda where you can be with a poor, like for example where my parents' house is, what we call a family house, is you can have your own house, like a big house, and your neighbors may be quite very rich. We are not very rich, but our neighbors may be quite very rich. In Nairobi it's different. The rich will stay alone. Alone. The poor will also stay poor in their own area. And I just feel like it's upon us, wherever I fall. And I'm not saying this to sound judgmental myself. I'm not rich. I'm also still struggling financially to get to that particular level. But hey, wherever you and myself know where all of us belong, we should really try our best to see that we use every other platform we can to lift, motivate, inspire, and grow each other. And this is one other thing I was talking about the last time while I was on live. I'm a VMMC nance, a senior VMMC nance. I've worked in VMMC for years. I've been in videography and content creation for some time. It doesn't cost me anything to lift up someone who wants experience in those fields that I have energy in. It doesn't at all completely. It doesn't take me even a snudge. It doesn't at all. So whatever you have, whatever you can do, whatever you can provide, make it the point that you please do so. Let's lift each other's up. You never know anyone who's fate. You see, guys, you are watching me from here. I have not met some of you, I've met some of you, but you never know. 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, some of you guys will be the richest men in Nairobi, or the richest women in Nairobi, or you will be having major projects, and maybe I might meet you and you say, "What, Tanya, you mentioned this and that and that." That is how funny and that is how meticulous life can happen. But whenever we have the opportunity to help each other, there is a way how things just come along. And I'm not saying this because everyone can. No, not everyone can. But wherever you are, in the position you have, or you have a stock of vegetables and you can teach a girl or a boy how to do those vegetables, or you're a content creator and you can help someone learn something, or you are in real estate and you can help give someone a job when it comes to this and this and this, or not even giving, because I understand also generally humans, we tend to be quite, our psychologists tend to go off. What I'm trying to say that wherever you are, In case you have a bookshop and you can help someone, in case you have a small business and you can give tips, you can give advice, that is what you do. You are contributing to the consciousness of all. Hence, we are growing each other one person at a time. So I just feel like I wanted to share that, because when it comes to this modernity issue and poverty, it is very, very evident in Nairobi. The rich stay alone and the poor stay alone. Slums are somewhere near the rich neighborhood. Where there is a rich neighborhood, there is a slum. Where there is a rich neighborhood, there is a slum. Not in a bad way, but I'm really, really realizing that in case we can do something, we can literally help each other move up the ladder with time. Now, the other thing that I also want to talk about, I talked about climate already, that and what I've learned from climate. What else? I just feel like you guys have been able to explore all things that I really wanted to explore according to the lessons I've learned when it comes to Nairobi, Kenya. And I'm just so glad that you guys kept around with me and we were able to cover all those different things. Yeah, I think my points, all of them are done. I'm just so grateful and happy that you have been around up to this particular point. I see 8 people in the building. When you come in, please like the video. It really does help. The like button is somewhere on this side, somewhere. There's no somewhere. When you come into the live stream, please do like the video. It really does help a lot and a lot. But as I accomplish up this vlog, I think I can give a few tips, especially now. Also, Kenyans who are in here and a few Ugandans and people who will rewatch this live stream. I have a lot of messages from a lot of Ugandans who want to come here and experience the moment, who want to come here and experience Nairobi. For example, there is a video I just uploaded about the paving of Nairobi. You guys are gagged about that video. Like, walking that street, you can never see the happiness I had. Walking that street by myself, feeling safe, recording, creating content to showcase Nairobi, how beautiful it is. You don't know how many messages I've gotten so far from Uganda about all these different content creators who really want to use the opportunity to come see for themselves. And someone was asking me, Tanya, how can you, like, for example, in Kampala, tell me a place that you would maybe equate to that paving. It is not there. I'm not seeing it anywhere. I'm not really seeing it anywhere. I'm not seeing it anywhere. And there are a lot of Ugandans who want to travel here, come see this magnificent country, come see this magnificent city. And the main tip I can give, maybe, it is try to be as free as you can. And try to be as free, but conscious free. I'm not saying that free, they told Tanya said we should be free, so we should go do whatever you have to do. Try to be free, but conscious free. Conscious free means that you are attentive and vigilant of everything that is happening around you. Number 2, I met Abdu. You guys haven't seen that video. Abdu is a Kenyan who lived in Uganda for years. Right now he's actually in Nairobi, has his business, and he's doing whatever he's doing here in Nairobi, Kenya. But he told me something that really touched me, and I think it's one of the great lessons I've learned over a period of time I've been in Nairobi. It is that as long as you treat yourself the right way in Kenya, you follow the rules, you obey the regulations, you carry yourself with dignity, you carry yourself with respect yourself, respect Kenyan citizens, carry yourself with that dignity, do whatever you have to do with alignment of the Kenyan laws and whatever is already designed. There is no way that Kenya is going to spit you out. Kenya will love you, Kenya will nurture you, people will help you, they will ground you until to that level where you'll just say, you know what, I've enjoyed Kenya enough, I'm ready to move out elsewhere. You know, he really said that amongst the first days I traveled here, he literally didn't know how much impact it left on my mind, but it really did. And it's one of the, maybe the other reason or the other kind of lessons I might have to share right now, or I have just shared right now, especially for my brethren visiting this country. This country, as we come in, we have found it peaceful. We have found it at least peaceful. We have found it clean. They have different measures on keeping their city safe, clean and safe and all that. They have dustbins, they have toll free lines for security and all that. But when you come in, try to abide. Do your research. The internet is there. Read about places where you can go visit. Read about places where they don't allow trespass. Respect people's boundaries. Respect the law. Don't engage in anything that is going to break your dignity as a Ugandan or as any other foreigner in Kenya. Don't engage in such things. At the end of the day, you are breaking the hands that are going to feed you. At the end of the day, you are doing something very, very detrimental to yourself. So I just want to urge you this out, also out there. When you are here, please behave. Behave. They have dustbins. As simple as that. Don't eat and litter. Don't eat and litter. They are dustbins. When you see the dustbin, carry. I've learned this the hard way. In Kampala, you see that I'm a nurse and we do waste segregation and all that. But we are fond of litter in the city, and no one is going to say anything. Even the Kampala City Council Authority kind of the Kampala State Council Authority, they'll literally say nothing. But because of how clean it is and how, like, when you are here, there is that new feeling you get about the city. Yeah? Because of that, I carry my rubbish. I carry my rubbish from Nairobi. For example, last time I was in Nyayo Estate. I bought a soda, and Nyayo Estate has those dustbins. I was almost out. I looked for a dustbin. I wouldn't get it. I carried that bottle until here at the apartment. The second time, I was in, where was I? Yesterday, we were in town creating content with Wekesa. The vlogs will be coming out on his channel. One vlog is about my self-testing Kenyan street foods, and the other vlog is about my opinion as a Ugandan towards Kenyan culture and Kenyan foods. That will be coming out on his channel. His channel is called Wekesa Renson. I'll try to tag them so that you guys can be able to see them. But the evening while I was coming back, I remember he took me to different places. We tasted the food. The second time I tasted Uji Power, the lady explained to me everything about Uji Power. And surprisingly, before I continue, I'm always wowed by the number of Kenyans I meet who have lived in Uganda. So the lady who was selling Uji Power, she had lived in Uganda for 7-8 years, and she had had a shop. She had had a shop in Uganda where she comes here, pick things and go sell them in Uganda. That is a story for another time. But what I'm trying to say is that after eating the Uji Power, I got a supermarket and Naivas, bought a yogurt, just a simple yogurt, and drank it as I was on a go to get my matatu back home. But I wouldn't get the dustbin. Like the road, some of the road was littered, but not so much littered, at least compared to. But I wouldn't bring myself home to throw this thing down. I don't know why, but I just feel like I wouldn't. I just feel like there is a reason why the Nairobi City County government is really emphasizing, and they are trying their best to see that they bring and put these segregation bins in place. I wouldn't help myself. I carried that thing after taking the yogurt through the matatu, walked with it as I tried to look for where to throw it. I wouldn't get it until when I reached home. Now, those are the simple things that really make a difference, and they motivate and inspire and change your perspective in a particular direction. You can't tell me that even when I go back to Kampala, Uganda, I can do the same thing. I just feel like I'm a slightly changed human being, because in Kampala, I would actually just get that thing and throw it away. Then the other thing, I haven't seen a lot of people urinate on roads in Nairobi. In Kampala, when you guys visit, you let me know. People in Kampala urinate on roads, like they chow on roads. In Nairobi, I haven't seen that. It is very common. Back in Kampala, Uganda, very common. But also, the KCCA has really tried so much that in case they find you doing so, there is a charge they are going to charge you. Then on top of that, they might have to arrest you, do community work. Now, I haven't seen that activity here, and I also want to give you flowers. Maybe I've seen like 1-2 people, but I haven't seen like how it is so rampant in Uganda. Someone stands in the city center, they get out their property and they urinate on the road, urinate in the grass. They squat down, they urinate on the road, they urinate on the grass. And coming here and realizing that it really makes a difference, and it really sets a new tone. For example, if I'm going to be a leader some years to come, and I'm going to be the governor of Kampala, Uganda, yeah, you never know, as we said earlier on, anything is possible. So that history already in my mind, that you know what, back in Nairobi, by the time I was there, people used to get these particular, the city county government used to get these particular bins, put them by the side road, right on different designated places, that this place you can do this place you can't do this place you can fail, this place you can't fail. You know, such things, there is a way how they motivate and inspire and change someone's mind to really, really do better. So I want to give you your flowers, Kenyans. Thank you very much not for urinating on the roads. And also thank you very much not for littering the city. I'm not saying that it is completely clean, but compared to, whenever I say but, just know compared to where I come from. Where I come from, it is quite different. Littering is the order of the day. The KCCA, the Kampala City Council Authority, they are trying. They are really trying. They came up with different ways of arresting these people who walk in grass, who do this, who do that, but nothing so far has worked. But when you come into Nairobi, Kenya, at least you get a new feeling of how things are, and maybe you can carry a thing or two back to where you come from. I'm seeing 12 people in the building. Please, when you come, like the video. The like button is somewhere here. That would be amazing. Today I came in quite late because the weather was quite not having it. I was trying to premiere a couple of videos, and I'm just so grateful that I've been able to come. But the like video is somewhere there. When you come into the live stream, please like the live stream. Also, in case you have any other question, today has marked 2 months since me being in Nairobi, Kenya, and I would love to hear from you guys. In case you have any other question about anything, I'm actually free to give you my honest opinion about it. And maybe as I wait for your questions, some of you guys, thank you very much for the feedback you did give me on the last vlog about my nursing career. I wanted to upgrade here in Nairobi, Kenya. You guys sent in a lot of amazing information. You emphasized me to check out a couple of schools. You emphasized me not to give up. You gave me your life examples. I met nurses, I met clinical officers. I don't know why, but most of the time nurses and clinical officers are like this. Regardless of the fact that also medical officers, they tend to flicker away. But nurses and clinical officers like this. So I'm just so grateful and happy I met online, not in person, but I saw your messages on my email and WhatsApp. You guys advised me in all different ways what I can do to get sure that I situate the whole of this process around. Some of you guys advised me that 2 years, like another year, it is not so big. You can still work, get a job here in Nairobi, Kenya, work maybe part-time as you wait for that full year to erupt and start nursing school here, or continue with nursing school here in Nairobi, Kenya. So you guys advised me on a lot of different things, and I'm really, really so grateful for that too. Yeah, I'm about to do a very, very thorough decision, and I'll definitely come back here on board and explain to you guys that this is what I've decided moving forward. But that was so good of you guys, you know, advising me, Methodist, Kenyatta, some other schools in different estates and some other regions. Like the feedback was really very good, and I'm just so glad and happy that I made that video. Initially I struggled making that video because I just felt like you guys wouldn't really understand it on how much, because I had quit my job and I just wanted to come stay here, and all these guys were telling me all those different stories, and initially I just felt like you guys wouldn't help me as much. But I was just really touched and moved by the capability of you guys interacting with the vlog and the post and helping me attain all that particular information. Yeah. With that said, guys, I think that brings me almost to the end of the live stream. And because I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, I see that we have 10 people in the chat. Yeah, oh, we have 10 likes right now in the chat. That's amazing. In case you haven't liked the chat, please like the chat. Please like the chat. The like button is somewhere here. Yeah, 10 is my lucky number. So whenever I get 10, most of the time I know that a viral video is coming and a chance to get more money is coming. But yeah, in case you haven't liked, the like button is somewhere here. That is the least you can do for me. Yeah, that is the least you can do for me. Yeah. I have 1 full month here with you guys. I still have like 4 weeks, full 4 weeks with you guys here in Nairobi, Kenya. 4 weeks that I'm pretty sure, because I'm traveling back to Kampala. I'm traveling back to Uganda on the 5th. probably, I don't want to be specific, but around 5th, 6th, 7th of November. So I still have the whole of October. I'm looking out for different things I can create about before I leave. I know the list is already big, but I can't do anything. I just want to do specific content for specific things in case there is a specific thing. For example, I was at the bypass, the Uhuru Highway, Haile Selassie underpass. I was there. So far the views are showing that you guys are enjoying that video, so I would love to create content on such things that you are willing to watch, willing to see. Maybe the viaduct project, things like that. So I still have one full month, like 4 weeks. The whole of October I'll be definitely here, and I'm going to try my best to see that I bring you what you guys want to watch. The projects are very many, and some of you guys have recommended me to do this, some of you have recommended me to do that, some of you have recommended do this, Tanya do that, but you guys, it is so much. But also the financial capability. Most of these, they want you to travel, they tend you to now get hosts in those different areas, and also, you know, as a man, you can't live somewhere where you're not going to be able to contribute something. So most of the time, all these projects need money, of which sometimes I may not be in that particular position to do all that. But otherwise, I'll try my best that the next 4 weeks before I leave back for Kampala, I try to come up with different options. Yeah, someone is calling me from Kampala, guys, so I'll have to first speak to them. Hello? Hello? Bulungi osibyo tya nyabo? This is Uganda. Eroni ogamba otya bannange Eroni? Bulungi nyabo. Nange gyendi mpola mpola ndi eno Nairobi. Era wanje? Esaawa eno ndi Nairobi, siriiwo mu Kampala. Siriiyo Kampala, ndi eno Nairobi. Wanje? Simanyi, obadde oyagala ki Aaron? Wanje? Senyi bantransferring nga nenvaayo, wenavaayo ate nenjjako eno e Nairobi, kati byo bizibu essaawa eno. Kale bambi. Kale nawe beera bulungi. So you guys, are you still in the live stream? Are you still in the chat? Have you guys left? I don't know. I think you guys have left. But regardless, someone just said, Zizo Almac just said, bro, keep going. The sky is the limit. Our language, ha ha ha. I'm still struggling with Swahili. My good Lord, if you guys know very well how I'm struggling with Swahili. I'm still struggling with Swahili. I've been speaking like 3 words, Mimi, Kiswahili, Kidogo, so that I can tell someone my Swahili is still very small, so that they are somehow soft on the way how they speak to me. Yeah, so I've been saying Mimi, Kiswahili, Kidogo. But also, Elsie and Ryan, those are Gabriel's children, kids, they have really helped me a lot to learn Swahili. Like, guys, whenever they are around, last time I was telling you about this book, whenever they are around, they just come in and we go through a couple of things and we're speaking Swahili. Now, this is like my Swahili book. I think you guys can see. It is almost night, but I think you guys can see just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, that is Swahili. A little bit of Swahili. But regardless, they have been really helping me learn a lot. So I'm very hopeful that maybe by the time I'll be finishing the year, maybe when I go back to Kampala, Uganda, travel back here, you know, things might have to change a little bit. Maybe I would have grasped a little bit more words and all that. But yeah, that's where I am right now. I'm still trying to learn Swahili. It is still quite hard, but I'll definitely learn. Maybe the other thing, when it comes to Swahili experiences I've had in Nairobi, it would be, I went to have this haircut I was in Kiambu. So in Kiambu, people speak only, okay, they know Swahili, but they basically speak Gikuyu. Yeah, they usually speak Gikuyu. That's what they usually speak in Kiambu. So I was in Kiambu and I went to have the haircut. Now, their haircut was 150 bob. 150 bob. So I didn't know Gikuyu, I didn't know Swahili. The guy I was speaking to didn't know English. So those three things. So I was stuck between the line. It was around 7, and mind you, I want to get around to the house probably around before 7:30. So I started now it's like signaging him. Like I want what the forehead has. Put this forehead on my head, because the haircut which I usually have, it is called a Shaolin Baba. We call this a Shaolin Baba, where you cut off all the hair from your head. We usually call it a Shaolin Baba. So I was telling him, do you understand? I was just showing him this, put this right here, put this right here. Then he was speaking Kikuyu, he was calling some people around, they didn't also understand what I was explaining. Then I had to get the machine and show him, do this, make sure that everything is off. Yeah, finally he did get it, and he did, get off everything, and it was an experience, and it really led me to really know that I have to learn Swahili by all means. I really do, in case I want to really thrive in this particular country. Yeah, with that said, guys, I think that brings me to the end of the live stream. I'm seeing 7 people in the live stream. Someone just commented, J Mollo. Let me know, Molio, if this is the right way of pronouncing your name. J Moliro. Thanks for the honest review about Nairobi City. Construction has always been there since 2003 until now, and pavements are renovated after 2. Oh, that is amazing. I didn't know that you guys renovate your pavements every after that period of time. That's amazing. I just feel like the light is changing. I'll have to just shift you guys, put you right here, so that because it's getting tonight, we have been having some gloomy weather around. Regardless, Muliro, thank you very much for this. I didn't know that they usually redo your pavements every after 3 to 2 years. I thought that is what is going to be there for a very long time. But regardless, that is amazing. Your city looks good, and it deserves its flowers. This is what I was saying in the last live stream, or 2-3 live streams ago. The last live stream, I was telling you guys that every Kenyan should try to ask themselves why there are over 25,000 Ugandans visiting their country every year. And also, every Kenyan should try once in their lifetime to try to visit Kampala, Uganda, so that you can be more appreciative of your city. Because I kid you not, your city is amazing, and most of you don't know. Yeah, most of you don't know that you are living on gold. Most of you don't know that here it's where everything starts and ends. Most of you don't know. So I just wanted to make that also so that you can understand from my perspective of view. But I'm just so grateful and happy to be here in this moment in time and exploring Nairobi, Kenya. I'm so glad that you are enjoying that video about the pavement. I was smiling while I was doing that video. My good Lord, my smile was ear to ear. I was smiling. That thing looked so clean. It looked so sharp. And so one of you guys commented in the comment section below, was like, Tanya, which camera do you use? I don't even use my camera. I use my iPhone. It is the iPhone 13. It is the iPhone 13 Pro. That is what I usually use to film. But that thing was sharp. That thing was clean. And if I travel back to Kampala, Uganda, that is in November, I'll make the point that I do an update to see some of those other smaller projects around Nairobi that have been around when they are constructing, or I have been around when they are doing. Yeah. When you come into the live stream, please make a point that you like. The like button is somewhere here. I see that we have 8 people in the building. That's amazing. Yeah, that's really amazing. I hope you guys, the questions are done. I want to go out for my evening walk. I've spent a whole day indoors. I have a policy that whenever I spend a whole day inside, at least in the evening, I try to move my legs to just make sure that there is a little bit of musculoskeletal circulation. Now that is nursing and coordination and anatomy and physiology. But I want to leave you guys here maybe walk back and forth from the road, have my muscles move a little bit, yeah, just refresh up a little bit. Let me meet you in tomorrow's vlogs. I still have a couple of vlogs I have to accomplish, but hopefully they will be coming out tomorrow. I'll see how these ones perform before I obviously get out another bunch of videos. Yeah, thank you very much for guys for watching, and let me meet you in my next one, and yeah, bye for now.